Leah begins to start having children. Rachel can't have any children because Rachel is representing who?
Israel.
But Leah is representing who?
Church.
So the church, how many people are getting saved because of the church? All over the world. The church is producing children, right? Into the kingdom.
Yeah.
But Rachel, which is Israel, still doesn't know Jesus Christ, so they can't produce any children.
Yeah.
They won't produce any children until the very end.
Yeah.
Now, you still in 29?
Amen.
Okay. Let's go to verse 30. No, let's stay at 29. Verse 31 in chapter 29, Laban gives birth to Reuben. Then if you go to verse 33, she gives birth to Simeon. Then if you go to verse 34, she gives birth to Levi. Then if you go to verse 35, she gives birth to Judah. Then she stops having children, but not completely. Okay? Let's flip over to the other page. In chapter 30, verse 9, chapter 30, verse 16, it says, so when Jacob had came in from the field that evening, Leah went out to meet him. You must sleep with me, she said. I have hired you for my son's mandrels. So he slept with her that night, and God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. So Leah now has 5 sons, right? Now, if Leah is representing the church, how many kids should Leah have? 7. Why? Because the church produces 7 churches. The menorah lamp is produced of 7 menorah lights. So Leah, first she has this other kid whose name is Issachar. And then in verse 19, she has a 6th son whose name is Zebulun. In verse 21, it says, sometimes later she gave birth to a daughter named Dinah. That Dinah is the last of the 7 kids that Leah produces. Dinah is a woman, so she is the weakest of the 7. She is the most vulnerable of the 7. So now you have to understand something. Leah produces 7 children because Leah's representing the church. But the last of the children that she produces turns out to be the last of the 7 churches, which is the weakest church, which is who? The Church of Laodicea, which is us. What makes Leah so weak? Okay, let's find out. Let's go to chapter 34. Listen what happens to Dinah, the last of the churches, the last of the 7 kids of Leah. It says, now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, had born Jacob, who was born to Jacob, went out to visit with the women of the land. She is living in the land of the Heptites. She is a Jew. She doesn't want to stay in her own camp. She goes out because she wants to visit with the Heptites of their land. Now, listen, if you're a Christian, you try to stay within the realms of your people. Because you know in the realms of your people, nobody's cursing, nobody's getting high. It shouldn't be unless you're in a religious church. Nobody's, but all this stuff that goes on in the world, we don't worry about if we stay within our own realm. It's when you say to yourself, I think I'm going to go to a club tonight to see what the world's doing. That's when you get in trouble. So Leah is the last of these 7 churches, and her biggest problem is interest in the world. So she's interested in the world. She goes out to visit the world. Let's read this story, because this is the best story I've read in a while. It says she went out to visit the women of the land. When Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Heptite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and violated her. His heart was drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob, and he loved her. He said, the girl, and spoke tenderly to her. Shechem said to his father Hamor, give me this girl as my wife. Now listen to Shechem. He's mental. First of all, because it said he took her. It's the same word in Hebrew, laquash, which is used for Enoch, which means he snatched him. He snatched him out of the world. Well, he snatched her. He went out to the street, he saw this beautiful girl, he snatched her, brought her to his house, and he violated her. That means he raped her. Yeah. Now, after he raped her, he started saying to her, I think I'm in love with you. She's been kidnapped and she's been raped, but after, he's like, I'm in love with you. I think I want to marry you. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. He's mental. He's so satanic and demonic that he doesn't even realize you just raped the girl and you kidnapped her. Now you're sitting here trying to ask her, telling her how beautiful she is, and you want to marry her. He doesn't just go that far though. He goes now watch this, in verse 5. When Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the field with the livestock. So he kept quiet about it until they came home. Then Shechem's father, Hamor, went out to talk to Jacob. Now listen to this. Dinah means judgment. That's what her name means in Hebrew. So Shechem's dad, Hamor, goes out to talk to Jacob. And he says, now Jacob's sons had come in from the field as soon as they heard what happened. They were filled with grief and fury because Shechem had done a disgraceful thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, my son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife. Intermarry with us, give us your daughters, and take our daughters for yourselves. He said, you can settle among us, the land is open to you. Live in it, trade in it, and acquire property. Then Shechem said to Dinah's brothers, let me find favor. Now here's Shechem, the rapist talking. Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you whatever you ask. Make the price for the bridal, for the bride and the gift, and I am to bring and as great as you like, and I will pay whatever you ask. Only give me the girl as my wife. Is he mental? The brothers are holy. The brothers are like S4C. The brothers are like, we're not mixing with your kind. Right. You don't even love Jesus. You don't even love God. Right. You're not part of our people. Right. So you think we're going to really give our daughter over to you to be married? Now listen to the mind state of Shechem and his father. First I come in. I see, imagine this yourself. I see your daughter or your sister. Instead of going to get the marriage done properly, I take her, grab her, and rape her, bring her in my house, rape her, and I got her kidnapped there. While they're talking to him, the daughter is still at their house.